Okay, so this one is about the nature of gifting. And I'm very excited about this topic because um, it's something I've kept close to my heart for a very long time. I don't even share this concept with the people that are really close to me because whenever I talk about it, it brings a lot of confusion and misunderstanding. And I've always known that, at some point I just have to emerge with it. And that's gifting. And in New Zealand where I live, I love the aspect of the Māori culture, which is called koha, which is another term for gifting, and it's appreciation-based commerce. In essence, I mean, it's not a formal thing, but it's an understanding that our gifts are actually called gifts for a reason, because we're meant to use them and we're meant to give of them obligation free. That's how we've been designed. So if you and the ethos behind it is that if you've been given a gift, it's a gift you've received. If you're a gifted artist, you've been given a gift. Use that gift and give that gift. And in this context, the mechanism for you receiving is the recipient appreciating you. And, if you were to bring this concept into economic terms, then you would say that money is the mechanism for appreciation. You created this piece of art. I have now received it. And I am inspired to appreciate you. And you use the value of the money as a measure of your appreciation. In context of your financial position and all these things, of course, but there's a point within your body where it feels right. And so if you can appreciate them for $1 and that feels right, then you do that. If it's $1 million, then you do that. 1,000, 10,000, it doesn't matter. It's an expression of your appreciation. And that person is receiving your appreciation because in reality, they're choosing to appreciate their own gifts by using them. And there's lots of terms for this, and there's some incredible people, coming up with concepts for a new economy based on gifting, and the concept of a gift economy is certainly nothing new. But I think, from my perspective, it's really about collaboration. You can't create a marketplace and just say, cool, here's a new economy. Everyone just give to each other and then just appreciate each other. It's not enough, because it's actually about collaboration. Coming together, unified in intent, sharing a unified intent of purpose, recognizing the gifts within each other, creating a space for everyone to express their gifts fully, and enhancing your capability and capacity as you go, like your cells within a greater body. And that's when you can create really potent things in the world, when you collaborate and everyone's gift is comes together to create a kind of alchemy that's not possible without collaboration. And so I've thought about many different terms to coin it. Is it collaborative gifting? Is it just cooperative collaboration, which is the term that we're using on Powerhouse, the e-commerce platform we built for this? Well, the e-commerce platform is actually not built for gifting. It's built for everyone to be able to do e-commerce, access e-commerce websites very easily, and to collaborate on commercial projects. But this is really a Morpheus thing, where, which is my collaborative incubator, where people can come together and share their gifts on community projects, and it's donation based. So, lots of people. Well, the few people I've shared this with, they always ask me, how could that possibly work? Because we assume that we're just going to work like dogs and not getting any money for it. But there is a mechanism and there is a way, and it's very achievable. Because most people, everyone in reality has a passion to use their gifts. Everyone does. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, you may enjoy the job, but there are probably parts of it that you really don't enjoy, and you probably fantasize about what you would rather be doing. Tinkering on a car at home, or building an upcycled bicycle, or doing pottery, or whatever it may be. And those thoughts are occupying us for a reason, because those thoughts are the gift that contains the inspiration that will create the impetus for us to then move forward towards expressing that gift. Because in reality, nature just wants us to use it. Nature doesn't care about the economy. Nature doesn't care about these human constructs that we've made that are all imaginary and actually fictional. They're not even real. Nature only works with stuff that's real and natural, not imagined like an economy. It's just like a matrix of the mind, really, when you think about the economy. Just a bunch of labels and conceptions that are, meaningless to most people. And so I have rested upon collaborative gifting. And the nature of collaborative gifting, it means that you are prepared to share your gifts and utilize your gifts in a collaborative way towards a unified intent of purpose and a shared vision. And that this organization is entirely obligation free. Entirely obligation free. So what does that mean? It means that there's a centralized constitution that everyone agrees to. And that's it. That's it. The rest is entirely dependent upon creating a blueprint for that organization based upon the expertise, skills, and resources that organization needs. And then entrusting people to use their gifts. And here's how it works. The founder of this organization, or someone who's been entrusted by the unified voice of the organization, they determine how much each person is appreciated. So if it's a let's say it's the equivalent of a business, but using collaborative gifting. It looks like a business. It operates like a business, except none of those people have formal agreements. Their word is their bond, and their bond is an agreement to share their gifts. And they are entrusted to do the job. They cannot be controlled. They can only be influenced through inspiration and through other people sharing their perspective. And you can collaborate and have discussions and come together and reach consensus and reconcile. But your decision on how you want to express your gift is always yours. Now, in a commercial venture, and that venture is generating an income, then what the person who is the founder or the initiator or who's been entrusted to do this role determines the nature of how much they want to appreciate someone. Now, most of the time, it's not just going to be, suck your thumb and go, I appreciate you this much. Here's $1,000 donation from the revenue. What they'll do is when people come together who are intending to share their gifts, they will estimate their own value and they'll say, I estimate my contribution to be around, to be worth around $5,000 per month, or $100 per month, or $10 per month. Or if they're gifting resources, let's say a laptop, then they'll say the estimated value of this laptop is $1,000. And that forms a template. So imagine an Excel spreadsheet. You've got a group of people coming together, prepared to share their gifts, who are appreciating their own value. And this is the key. This is the key. You're appreciating your own value and you're saying, I believe I'm worth this. But it's totally obligation free. It's totally obligation free. And so what this enables, it enables the organization to create a forecast and say, okay, I can treat the value of these people's gifts at like it's a cost. And now I can do a sales forecast over, let's say, my recommendation is always 13 months. And I won't go into why it's 13 at the moment, but I probably will at some point. So what you do is you say, okay, the combined value of this team, that is the value of the gifting, is, let's say, $50,000 a month. Let's say it's a big project. And so I can now create a forecast because my intention is to make a donation to all of these people, to appreciate them for sharing their gifts. And so you make a forecast on a spreadsheet or something similar, and you can share the spreadsheet and say to these people, if we can achieve this, in sales, and if we can be this efficient on costs, because there will be expenses. But again, so you have someone gifting money to the project to cover the costs, to cover the expenses. And, they're willing to do that obligation free. And this would be the equivalent of someone just saying, hey, I want to make a donation to this project. Obligation free. Nonetheless, you may choose to appreciate that person. The value of my donation so that this project can cover its costs is $10,000. Now, I guarantee you'll feel a lot of appreciation for that, and you will want to probably make a donation to the person who made the donation in the first place. That's only going to inspire them to donate to more and more projects. So very, very potent. Nonetheless, it's obligation free. And so the question is, what if someone does a bad job? What if someone decides it's not for them and wants to leave? Then they are free to go. They are free to withdraw their energy at any moment. At any moment. And it likewise goes for the people who make up the collective body of that person. It's like the level of appreciation determines. It creates a natural response in a similar way to a body, and this is what enables it to be self-regulating. I've talked about self-regulating perpetual organizations and systems on another podcast episode, but one that's based on collaborative gifting, it's exactly the same, but appreciation is the mechanism. So if someone's doing a bad job, then you don't appreciate that, do you? So, if they valued themselves at $5,000 a month, let's say, but you're not feeling that value, then you're not appreciating that value. And so you may appreciate it for $1,000 in a certain month. And then the next month, same thing again. They're saying it's worth 5,000, but what you're experiencing is even worse than the last month. And so you appreciate it by $500 in the next month. Now, this will create a tension, more than likely, and it will ignite and initiate a conversation and a discussion, and then you can collaborate. You come together, you collaborate to resolve the issue. And this person might say, something's happened in my family, and I used to be giving all my time to this. Now I can only give 15 hours. And you say, well, actually, you're really gifted and talented. It's just your output that's the issue. And so then you come together with all the other collaborators and say, this is the issue. We've come up with the solution. Is everyone happy if we go and seek another collaborator who can pick up the slack, who has these kinds of skills? And then you invite another collaborator who's prepared to gift, and they estimate their value. And the person who was not being appreciated, they re-estimate their own value. This was 5,000. Now, really, it's 500. And on we go. So appreciation, and this is actually the nature of the universe. Appreciation is the mechanism for, it's the self-regulating mechanism. Everything in your reality that you're choosing to appreciate is growing and expanding. It's becoming more. And the only way you can appreciate something is by gifting your presence to that thing, or by gifting it your money. And so that's really it. Collaborative gifting. Now, what are the benefits of this? It's all donation based. You're free to go whenever you want. If you have a bad month, then the nature of the level of appreciation, you understand that it may change, and that makes you self-responsible. The person, the nature and the level of the appreciation you're receiving is always a direct reflection of the gravity of your gifting. Now, it may be that you fall sick one month and you're out for the whole month, but the gravity of what you've contributed in the months before, it means that you're still appreciated in the same way. And this is more than likely. But, if you're not appreciating your own gift by using it, then it definitely won't be matched with the level of appreciation that you're expecting. Now, there'll be scenarios where you're using your gift and you've valued yourself, let's say $5,000 a month, but you're creating much more gravity than that, much more. And so you may get a donation of $10,000 or $7,000 or whatever it may be. Now, this is the nature of appreciation. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that you want to express. And when you understand nature and the laws of nature, you understand how this works. If you're the person with the purse strings who's making donations, then you're actually looking for opportunities to appreciate more, because you know that it's the fact that you're expressing your appreciation and the things that you're focusing on and that you're consciously appreciating with your donation, you know that those are the things that are growing. So you're going, you've got a business development person who's in charge of, who's basically, actually, that's the wrong phrase. I'm going to withdraw that, who's in charge, because it's not like that. Who the team have entrusted to use their gift of business development to hit a revenue number for the month. So they're going to say, okay, I'm going to be the impetus and the drive towards us doing $1 million in revenue this month. I'm talking about a big organization here, of course. And, so imagine that you had a $2 million month. And you could see that this business development person, they were absolutely, just gunning it, full of enthusiasm, passion, inspiration. They were pulling the team together. They were getting everyone else fired up and motivated. And that the gravity and the energy of that person, it really was the driving force. You're going to pay them double. You're going to pay them triple. You're going to appreciate them as much as you feel that you want to grow that even more. How much do you really appreciate someone who can contribute to an organization that much, where you did double what you were expecting to do that month? Now, of course, it's a collaboration, but you're aware of the impetus that person brought in. You're going to appreciate it big time. But again, it's obligation free. You're just making donations. There's no legal contract. There's nothing that binds us to each other. It is total freedom, obligation-free gifting, collaborative gifting. This is the only mechanism for true freedom. It's the only mechanism for true freedom. And it requires self-trust, huge levels of self-trust. And in reality, the only way to make this work is you have to back yourself. You have to back yourself, and you have to be able to say that I know that if I collaborate in this project, I can create value. I know I can. I know that my gifts will be valued in this organization. So this is the nature of collaborative gifting. And so what does that mean if if the way that you live in the world is purely donation based? It means you're free. You're not obligated to anyone. You're not obligated to anything. It's a mechanism for appreciation. You're receiving that donation because someone wants to appreciate you. You can do whatever you want with that money. You can do whatever you want with that money. And, I think, the glaringly obvious thing about this is that, because it's a donation, there's no tax for the inland revenue. And so, I think over time, my intention, especially anyway through Morpheus, because Morpheus is the home of collaborative gifting, and specifically to initiate projects, over a period of 12, 13 months, so that until they can stand alone. But my intention moving forward is to, begin factoring in donations to, would it be the government? Would it be the local council? Whatever it may be, the mechanisms in our world that are around us that support us, we want to appreciate them as well. Now, ultimately, my vision for collaborative gifting, it goes down to the individual. So, a truly self-responsible individual will want to appreciate the infrastructure around them that's supporting them, and they'll understand this and get this. But I think really we're going to have to experiment, see how it goes, make sure that we are appreciating everything around us that's being provided for us, but on the understanding that the people that we're appreciating with our donations, that they understand that we are obligation free. We are obligation free. We are using our gifts obligation free. We're being entrusted to appreciate our own gifts and contribute our own gifts. It's entrustment based, purely entrustment based. And we allow nature to determine how it evolves. But we create the space for everyone to use their gifts relentlessly, and we use appreciation as the mechanism. And so that's really the ultimate in self-regulation. Appreciation. So I'll leave it there. Obviously, I'm going to, expand upon this topic. And I'm very excited about my project Morpheus being the home of collaborative gifting. It's not just about the home of collaborative gifting. It is for commercial projects as well and other things, but it really is the birthplace of collaborative gifting in the context of initiating projects that have the potential to become entirely autonomous, where each individual component is obligation free, meaning that they're sovereign, self-responsible and self-reliant, and that appreciation is the tool and the mechanism for self-regulation. Okay, that's all for now. Catch you soon.